So I like the idea of using the thrown object, many of them, to create this larger space and feeling. You're going to see this wall that's going to have a pattern to it. It's not going to be real regular. And then you come in closer and you recognize that these are objects that are somewhat familiar, maybe. Clay has been around forever. It is part of the human experience. It's definitely part of my daily experience and my life experience. This is what I live. And it's a way of sharing that. It's a way of showing that part of my life. Going to Spain and seeing the Alhambra was just amazing to me. I just felt surrounded by clay. There was a presence there. Whenever we travel, I bring a notebook, and that's when I tend to sketch the most. Rounded shapes all across the page. And so that is what I'm kind of looking for. You can see these are intersecting. I mean, I'm cutting them and intersecting them. The other kind of intersection has to do with my life. My mother, the last year of her life, you know, my son graduating from college, my life and all our lives intersecting. Gail Christensen, the person I really learned how to throw from, did everything. Elegant stoneware pieces that were meant to be used. Very large-scale sculptures. I never felt any limitations as to what clay could do. With each of these pieces that I'm making, I'm trying to approach it kind of the same way that I do when I'm making functional pieces, and that I want them to be able to kind of stand up on their own, even though they are definitely part of, or going to be part of a bigger, much bigger thing. But I've always used the wheel. It's where I start with everything. I use porcelain, a type of clay. So at this point, porcelain feels a little bit like cream cheese. It's very soft and responsive. I feel very connected to porcelain. Throwing forms allows me to begin a dialogue. Yeah, you're going in the right direction, or nope, try again. I do like to push and see what I can get away with, but porcelain will keep you humble. I do a lot of altering, but it's trying to take those forms that are just fresh off the wheel and trying to retain that freshness. I like how the porcelain talks back. I can make like one cut, and then depending upon what the clay does at that point, because of how soft or hard it is, then I will see something to react to. Seeing the inside and the outside. Just the movement that it makes. And then the forms that you can make things next to each other. So that's one tray or board, so 160 to go or something like that. With this piece, then there's a whole composing section. There's something really nice I like about the surprises that happen when you just set two pieces next to each other. So it is kind of fun loading a bisque because it's like putting a puzzle together. It's fun to see different things kind of come up too. This project has just become so large that I need other hands. I'll have to credit my son for actually tracing the whole shape around them. It's really helpful to see the outlines of that and thinking about what other shapes I might make to fit into these different parts. Been fascinated for a long time about how a material so fluid can be fired and then becomes such a strong material. Okay. And then after unloading, then I'll lay them out, see if there's anywhere else that I'm going to be adding pieces, and bring them over to Northern Clay. I need eyes on my fingers. I'm trying to figure out what my logic was as I was putting the pieces together. Okay. 1/6 up on the wall. All of what I do is very, very much interrelated. I saw these pieces as cylinders that could be turned into cups, trays, or casseroles, that intimate piece of functional things. This piece, obviously, you're stepping into it more and being enveloped by it. I wanted to do this to put myself in context in this world of clay.
Complexity of the small pieces and the glaze. It kind of reminds me of barnacles.
It looks like the moon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it looks like the moon too, and stars.
Is that what
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower? I thought it could look like seashells, maybe.
I see the similar shapes.
What do you mean similar
It
shapes?
kind of is like a test tube bottle.
So that part looks a little bit like the sun coming up, right?